This is Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for January 28th. The Congressional Budget Office has released its latest estimate on the cost of Obamacare subsidies for poor and middle-class Americans. The figure shows the president's signature health care law is significantly over budget. Obamacare is projected to run a $1.35 trillion deficit. It will be expected to cost nearly $2 trillion, but bring in $645 billion in taxes, fees, and penalties over the same period of time. That works out to a cost of $50,000 for each subsidized person, and the forecast means there will likely be higher costs in the future. In a 2009 speech, the president vowed not to sign the law if it added to the deficit, and that the cost would be $30,000 for each uninsured American, covering about 30 million people. But even with the high price tag over the next decade, an estimated 31 million people will be without medical insurance, and costs for each individual will rise by 66%. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints issued a press release Tuesday stating support for the LGBT non-discrimination law in the wake of Utah considering SB 100, an act that would add sexual orientation and gender identity to the state's list of anti-discrimination protections. At the same time, the Church reiterated support for laws protecting religious freedom and for not forcing religious institutions to perform same-sex marriages. The Church also advocated for special protections for religious organizations, including the ability to refuse to perform same-sex marriages if the ban is overturned nationally. 19 states have passed religious freedom measures to ensure the right to religious practice, including the right to refuse to perform same-sex marriages. If the Supreme Court rules in favor of same-sex marriage in June, it is likely the next battleground will be whether or not churches can be compelled to perform same-sex ceremonies. The National Bureau of Economic Research has compiled job gain data from 2014 and has made a compelling discovery. Of the 3 million jobs created in 2014, 1.8 million of them were a direct result of the reduction in unemployment benefits. Federal unemployment insurance dropped to 24 weeks from 53 weeks at the end of 2013, a move opposed by the Obama administration. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker has formed a political committee to expand his message before making a formal run for the presidency in 2016. Walker received strong support when he spoke at the Iowa Freedom Summit this past Saturday. The committee website, Our American Revival, launched Tuesday. Walker also hired former Republican National Committee political director Rick Wiley to run the effort. Walker's political career has been notable, winning 3 elections in 4 years, including surviving a recall in a state that twice voted for Barack Obama. The committee Walker formed is a 527, named for the tax-exempt code under which it is filed. Unlike his opponents, some of whom have formed political action committees, a 527 would give Walker more control over the funding he receives. Walker joins likely candidates Jeb Bush, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Mitt Romney in the pool of potential Republican 2016 nominees. And actress Angelina Jolie is reaching out to the people of Iraq and drawing international attention to the victims slaughtered by ISIS. Jolie took a trip to northern Iraq on Sunday as part of a special envoy with the United Nations. Jolie visited refugee camps and said it was not enough, quote, to defend our values at home. We have to defend them here, in the camps, and in the informal settlements across the Middle East, and in the ruined towns of Iraq and Syria. This has been Amy Curtis with your Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for January 28th.
VLR.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else.
let's be clear. Now let's be clear. There are no winners here.
Two minds are better than one. Time for the right mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum.
Well, welcome to the show, folks. This is The Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. Thank you so much for listening. Beautiful Wednesday afternoon to you, unless you're on the left side of the country, such as myself, where it's still morning. If you'd like to call in, we would love to take your phone calls at 412-567-6879. Also, you can banter back and forth with us on Twitter at The Right Mics, and that's M-I-C-S. Miller, good afternoon, brother. How are you?
Dude, I'm great. Although I read something this morning that has me kind of worried a little bit. Yeah.
I have like 3 different jokes, but I'm just going to let you go ahead and explain.
Because you're also laughing because you never know where I'm headed. Yeah.
I have absolutely, which was why I felt for a second free reign to make a joke. Yeah. So, what's bothering you?
Okay, so here's the deal. It should be bothering you as well. Because you and I both have iPhones. You have the 6 Plus. I say that to steal your thunder. Jessica, do you have an iPhone?
No, I got a Samsung phone.
Samsung. So this is applicable to you as well, but because iPhone just dominates Samsung. In fact, it's a bit in trouble right now based on its phone productivity of late. And this is a little jab to some Samsung people I know. But new study out, you guys. Separation from iPhone, Samsung. Separation anxiety. New study out. So maybe to start this short conversation, I'm asking you guys, if you were to be separated from your iPhone for any period of time, would you have separation anxiety? Jessica, you and your Samsung.
I think it would be weird. Yeah, it kind of becomes like, a ring that you always wear or something. You're like, oh, wait, where is this? I'm missing it. But not like, oh, my God, I need this back.
Michael?
Well, one quick question. The article is specifically about iPhones, but obviously the point is about not having your smartphone at all, right?
Well, sure, and that's why, we can invite the other guys in, that would be Jessica, to the conversation. But sure, and this study, this is Journal Computer Mediated Communication, both psychological and physiological effects can be felt. Listen, I'll throw myself out there right off the bat and say yes. If I don't have when I lost my iPhone once. This is a long story. I used to talk about it on the show because it was this whole string of weird events. But yeah, so, I mean, what about you guys?
Oh, absolutely. If I... Oh, geez. My laundry room at my apartment is about 110 paces from my place, and I'll take it with me. If for some reason I run to the grocery store or something like that and it's not with me, I will literally do a U-turn and turn around to go back to get it. There have been occasions where I either lost my phone or misplaced it. Most recently, I was fishing on a lake in Minnesota, which would be a year ago July, and dropped my phone off the side of the boat.
Oh,
and it was 4 days later that I got my replacement. And
it was hell, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean, at the time, I was wearing a geeky holster on my waist for my phone, so I wasn't just sliding it in my pocket.
Right.
And I never have my phone audio; it's always on buzz. I mean, I've used the ringer on a phone maybe once in 5 years. And I felt phantom buzzing on my hip. I felt myself reaching. I'm totally not kidding.
Seriously?
Oh, I'm totally not kidding. I would reach to my pocket. I'd reach to my hip. I'd be like, crap. Has there been something that's happened in the last 30 minutes as one of my high school friends tried to get a hold of me with a comment about the cute cat video? Or, oh, I want to say something to I can't do that right now. Oh, totally.
See, Jessica, I'm the same way. I cannot go anywhere in the house, including to the bathroom, anywhere, without that phone. And if I do the same thing Haslam does, if I head out to go somewhere, even if it's just to go run to the store to pick something up, I have to, obviously not if I'm all the way there, but if I realize that when I'm halfway down the street, I have to turn around, go back and get it. So that's how bad we are. Again, what about you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I will say definitely. If I leave it at home and stuff, if I'm close enough, I'll go back. But there have been times that I've gone to the store and I was like, "Well, I don't have my phone. This kind of sucks, but it's not I'll get back home soon." And there was time that my phone went swimming too, and that really sucked.
I went swimming. I like that.
Yeah, it went swimming. It was not fun. And yeah, I had to go the next day. I was like, "Look, I can't wait. I need a phone."
So do you keep yours on buzz like Haslam does, or on ring?
No, I love to have it on the ringtone. The only time that I actually have it on vibrate is when I'm doing like a show or something.
Right. See, Michael,
Oh, that's interesting.
the only time I have mine on vibrate is during the show, and then anytime after that when I forget to turn it back on, because I'm also absent-minded, and I get that from my mother, by the way. It has nothing to do with my age, so let's nip that in the bud before that comes up. But because I have to call it half the time, I have to call my phone with my wife's phone, or with
Oh
the
yeah,
computer, whatever,
I've done that
to
before.
find it.
I totally, yeah, that's happened before. I'll be like, Joshua or my sister or somebody, call my phone. If not, there's been times where there's this thing that you can just put your phone number in Google and it'll call you. Like, if you
Right, right.
can't
Okay,
find
so
it.
so here's a couple quick quotes, and then we can move on because Jessica, I know you got to do something real quick and for just a few minutes. But this study, University of Missouri news release, being without one's phone, quote, can negatively impact performance on mental tasks. This is the author, and he continues, quote, iPhones are capable of becoming an extension of ourselves, such that when separated, we experience a lessening of self and a negative physiological state. Now, I don't know about physiological, but definitely psychological. And oh my God, where's my phone? I'm there.
Well, the physiological would be if the psychological thing has some sort of manifestation. For me, it's a phantom hip buzz. Now, interesting, we just got Dan Fitzgerald's listening right now. Hey, good afternoon, Dan. Two comments he said that he ditched his iPhone for a flip phone. Now he carries a tablet. I'm guessing for the size. So I'd suggest getting a 6 Plus because it's like an iPad Mini. He said, hey, his internet was out this morning and he had a small amount of anxiety.
There we
Oh
go,
yeah,
Dan.
However, he
that's
also
it.
said that he's got defined barriers between himself and technology. I do too, and
What,
I
really?
typically I do, yeah. And the defined barrier that I have, I call sleep.
Yeah, or passed out drunk. Yeah, no, I have those
Oh
as well.
man.
Here's the physiological stuff they say, okay? Can cause a jump in blood pressure, heart rate, and
Check,
anxiety
check.
are all significant. Um, Solution isn't exactly what you might think. Keep your phone close when completing tasks that involve a lot of attention, or so they suggest. I don't give a damn what they suggest. I gotta have, dude. I honestly, it's just how ridiculous I am about it. I not only, well, listen, I don't lay it on the nightstand. We have a king size bed. I sleep, somewhat in the close to the middle of it. Dude, I lay it on the bed.
Oh, I do the same thing.
See,
Totally.
and then if you throw the covers around and you can't find it when you're looking for it, oh my God.
Oh yeah, totally. When I go to bed at night, my glasses so I can see and my phone are like on the floor next to me.
Well,
Now,
see,
you know
my
what's
glasses
interesting,
and my
Mike?
phone are on the next to my pillow, so I'm with you. So go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just pulled up an article. It's kind of funny. It's September 14th, 1896, New York Times. Does our dependence on electrical lighting say something about us as human beings? And it talks about the physiological effects of relying on electric lighting in your home, wishing for the days when that sort of technology was not available. And it's